Let me say this before we begin. Grief, it doesn't just take people. It can take pieces of who you used to be. And sometimes healing isn't about getting back to who you were, it's about discovering who you are now.
Why be somebody else when I can be me? Why be somebody else when I can be me? You're already taken, cause I'm in the making. Cause I'ma be me, I'ma be me, I'ma be me. Yes, sir.
I'm so good at being good.
There it is.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, Holla Squad, and welcome to the Hear My Heart Show, where real life meets real faith and we heal out loud and on purpose. This is the space where grief isn't rushed, identity gets rebuilt, and the purpose is rediscovered, even after changes happen in an instant. Okay. And if you are a part of the Holla Squad, drop a holla in the chat spiel, and if you are new here, welcome home. You are heard, you are healed, and you are here on purpose. Yes, that is what you are. You are healed and here on purpose. I don't know why I'm so tongue twisted today. Ooh. And tonight we're talking about grief, healing, and the courage to choose yourself again. All right. And tonight I got a very, very, very special individual here. My VIP, AKA guest, is someone who has turned deep loss into intentional living. Ooh, come on, come on, come on. Miss Golden is a faith driven speaker, an author, and an entrepreneur whose life and message center on healing, resilience, and purpose. After the tragic loss of her husband in 2023, she began the journey of rebuilding her life with unwavering faith in God. That is something that is super amazing. And it's something that we need. With over 25 years of federal service, and now the founder of Cam Golden LLC, she empowers others to prioritize their health, their mentality, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and spiritually. She is covering all of the leads. Okay, her message is simple, but it is super, super powerful. Healing is possible. Purpose still exists after loss, and choosing yourself is not selfish. It's necessary. With that being said, I ain't gonna hold her hostage much longer behind the scenes. I'm pulling her out now. Come here, sis. Hey, sugar. How you feeling today? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Today is a good day. Today is a good day.
Good. We love to hear that. Well, I'm always nosy, and my favorite opening question that I love to ask every VIP that comes on to the Hear My Heart show is, what are you thankful for in this season of your life?
I'm thankful for still being. Yes.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. I love that. The fact that you are still here, that you and it's being. So that means you're
Mhm.
in continual. You didn't just
Yes.
be and you're over it. You're being. I love that.
Yes.
Oh, I
Yes.
love that. After losing your husband in 2023, what did
Yes.
those early days of grief look like for you? The parts that people didn't see.
It's hard. It's like I stopped. I stopped doing everything. I stopped eating. I stopped sleeping. I stopped thinking. I stopped caring about things. And I've always been that caring and compassionate person. I was very withdrawn with losing him. I didn't really want to share my grief. And when I say share my grief, because a lot of times, people always say, well, when such and such, they want to give examples of, and yeah, that's not one of those scenarios where I want to have war story time.
Okay.
That was draining for me. Um, I was really isolated. I was really isolated. Yeah, I was
Wow.
isolated. And but being all of that, I knew that these things were not normal. I knew the totality of all of these things. And I was able to get myself into my primary care doctor, who was like, let's get you in some therapy. So I was able
Mhm.
to get into therapy early on. And things were just not working the way I wanted them to. So, like, just talking to someone, yeah, it was good in that 1 hour, but
Mhm.
I got the rest of the day to get through. And so then I was asked, had I ever considered like antidepressants or whatever? And I was like, well, no, but
Mhm.
at this time, let me do it to help me to get through it. Now, I will tell you now, fast forward in real time, when I was saying that, I was
Mhm.
just like, kind of knocked the edge off. I'd never imagined that it would be over 2 years and I would
Mhm.
still be on the antidepressants. I would still be on medication to help me sleep. And to be honest, that I would still be in therapy
Mhm.
since then.
Mhm.
I have been in therapy every week since my husband passed away. And at
Mhm.
one point, I tried to kind of just like, scale back and see if maybe I could do like every 2 weeks or,
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't work. Me and my
Uh-huh.
therapist, I told her, I don't care where you're going, I'm going. It doesn't matter that insurance don't cover it. That's a part of my self-care. And so I'm very intentional about myself. And so that is a priority for me. This is something that I knew my family couldn't love me through it.
Mm.
To be honest, I couldn't pray myself through it.
Yeah.
Literally, it's a combination of things that I
Mhm.
use. My therapist taught me to have things in my toolbox. So
Yeah.
I have a toolbox. So
Good.
not only do I have the therapy things in my toolbox, I did lean on my faith. So I've always had a belief in God.
Mhm.
But life, you start doing things, and so it's not prioritized the same way.
Mhm.
But I woke up one Sunday and God said, you need to go to God's house, like come to my house. And
Mhm.
so
Come on
a
in.
lot of churches stopped doing the early service after COVID, but I
Mhm.
found a church that had like a 9 a.m. service. And that's where I went because what I knew, I could not go to the church where I had my husband's service. Like I got
Wow.
anxiety even thinking about that. So I
Mhm.
went to another church and I have been going there ever since. I am an official member of my church. And so,
Yeah.
there have been ministers that it's a big church, not a mega church.
Mhm.
Well, if you look at the numbers on the roll, some people may say a mega church, but
Okay.
when you walk in there, I still felt the love and the connection of the small church, if that
Yeah.
makes any
Mhm.
sense.
Total
So
sense to
I
me.
did, yeah. So I
Mm.
did grief share with them, and that allowed me to meet a lot of the associate ministers. And
Mhm.
like once they identified and they knew what my story was, they really just migrated to me, and they was checking in on me. And like even now, I had a season last year where I got sick,
Okay.
and I was in the hospital, had to have emergency surgery. Like
Wow.
they was calling, they was sending
Mhm.
cards, like for that to be a large church on numbers, but
Mhm.
they still miss my presence, so they really
Wow.
truly care about me. They care about
Yeah.
me, and I needed that, and then just to have them to pour into me um on those days when I didn't realize that my cup was halfway empty,
Mhm.
but they would pour into me. And especially like the mothers of the church,
Yeah.
they always give you some good nuggets of
Don't.
wisdom. And I remember I did what is it? It's like a grief group, but it was for people who've lost their spouses. And I did that. And I remember the lady was like, well, yeah, baby, you don't fulfilled your vows to death do us
Mhm.
part. Like it's time to move on. Like she was really just matter of fact. She
Uh-huh.
could see the look on my face. It didn't land right. And
Yeah.
she was like, what? that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, so
Okay.
she broke it down because my thing was, I didn't ask to be a widow. I was not
Yeah.
ready to, to be without my husband. So like I'm still very sensitive about that. But I
Yeah.
appreciate the fact that she picked up on my body language and the look on my
Yeah.
face and came back and still had additional conversation for me. But I trusted what she was saying because she's just not telling me from a biblical standpoint. She's walked
Mhm.
it. She
Right.
had lost her husband, and so she was remarried. So even to see
Mhm.
that, these ladies, they have remarried and they're
Mhm.
happy, they're fulfilled. So I can see that, at some point, my light is going to start shining again.
Yeah.
Definitely being around them gave me hope. It was not just checking off a box. I could see it. I could see
Mhm.
it. So yeah,
Oh,
so
that's beautiful.
that's a big part. Yeah. So going back to church and being active in church. So not just going to church, sitting up there on Sunday. Like I was actively participating in church. Tithing, if we had different programs and stuff during the week, I would go for that. I would volunteer for different things within the church.
Mhm.
Mentoring is something I started doing through the church. And
Okay.
also a big thing was fitness had been
Mm.
a thing. I was
Oh,
working out before my husband passed away.
mhm.
But after, I was going to the gym, like kind of burning some energy off. That's what I felt
Okay.
like I was doing. But I started going to a local gym, and it's mostly women. There are some men there, but it's mostly women. And I was
Mhm.
doing personal training, and I was like, is this really me? Like up in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, doing my
Uh-huh.
workout, watching my diet, being intentional about my food. Like, and when I looked up, I had this routine, and like I'm literally getting ready to do a 1 year anniversary of being at that particular gym. And it's like I'm
Oh.
54 years old, by the way.
Mhm.
So I'm
Come on.
54 and
Hey.
I'm 54 and
Yeah.
the way that I can move and my endurance and yeah, like I feel physically, I feel better than I felt ever in my life. And even when life gets extra hard and
Mhm.
complicated,
Mhm.
it does me good to get up and go in the gym because when I'm working out and I'm over there fighting for my life, it's almost
Uh-huh.
like I'm leaving those emotions, that anger, that grief, that fear, because sometimes it's a series of emotions.
Yeah.
I'm literally taking it out in the gym. So
Mhm.
I kind of release when I'm in the gym. So that's become a big part of my healing as well. Because you got to have an outlet,
Have to.
So that my therapy,
Mhm.
my relationship with God, and then of course working out and putting myself first, knowing that what my bandwidth can hold,
Mhm.
and knowing that it's okay to say no to people,
It
um,
is.
and also knowing that it's okay to remove people from your table or to allow them to excuse themselves from your
Mhm.
table. Um, I've been okay with walking alone, because being alone and being lonely are different things,
It is.
but my peace is first and foremost.
Good.
So yeah, so those are
Yeah.
my things in my
Uh-huh.
toolbox that keep
I
me
know
going
that's
day to
right.
day.
I'm
Yeah.
grateful for the toolbox because the toolbox is something that we gotta open every now and then. Even when something breaks around here, I need that good old toolbox. I'm going to the garage,
Yes,
and Imma get
yes,
that toolbox out so I can
yes.
help to repair that. Toolboxes is natural, and then there is something that we need for our emotional and our spiritual, everyday physical life. So I'm grateful that you have the tools, and I'm grateful that you did therapy. I too had to experience that as far as going. I needed some medication to help level me out too.
Mhm,
So the fact that you did that and you knew the help that you needed, and I don't care what anybody has to say about that. I'm selfish and I want to make sure I'm
mhm,
good. So you don't have
mhm.
to live this life. You don't have to go through what I'm
Yes.
going through. I have to do it. So I have to celebrate you and say, I'm grateful that you did that because
Thank
sometimes
you.
we won't do that.
Exactly.
And
And I
we
will tell you,
feel,
this is the hardest thing. Like I tell
yeah,
anybody, I've had kids.
yeah.
I would have told you like that was the hardest thing. No, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with in
Okay.
my life.
Mhm.
In
Mhm.
my life,
Yeah.
dealing with the emotional stuff. And then remember, with grief, it's me, but there's so many different layers to my life that changed. You know, my husband left, he
Mhm.
died.
Mhm.
Okay, so when he died, his last check died too,
Mhm.
and
Mhm. Mhm.
I still had to do these things to even tap into the things that we had in place. So like my security, um, my safety,
Yeah.
I lost a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
then he was killed in a car accident, and it happened
Yeah.
literally not even 3 miles from our home. So like for me to
Close.
leave and go into the city, I have to forever pass that. And even to go around it, the road that goes up is parallel to the interstate, so
So you
it's
see
like,
it.
yeah, I still see it. And
Mhm.
I thank God that I had the forethought to not make rash decisions in terms of like just pack up the house. I don't want to be anywhere near here.
Mhm.
Um, I knew that it was premature. I couldn't do that because I was afraid to make permanent decisions that I might come back and regret. And
Yeah.
then if I can't
Mhm.
fix it, that's the problem. And my
Mhm.
husband, when we got married, um, he bought me a house. So we picked
Uh-huh.
out everything in this house. We had it built from the ground up. So it's like there's no
Okay.
other place that I want to be. And of course, with the way the economy is, like we have an amazing interest rate. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
where am I going?
Don't make don't be
Yeah.
making no permanent decision off a temporary
Yes.
feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I
Yes.
get
Yes. So,
grief.
and then
That's
just to be able to be me. Nobody's
yeah.
grief is the same. That's why I say I don't be wanting nobody to tell me about no war stories or
Mhm.
anything. Like,
Mhm.
just let me be me. And I think that's one of the things I really miss about my husband is that
Yeah.
he appreciated me with all of my flaws, my quirky
Mhm.
ways, all of that. I think he loved me more because I was different in a lot of ways. He
Mhm.
accepted me as I am. And
Yeah.
society is so different. People don't accept you as you
Yeah.
are. But like I said, I'm 54. There's not much that's going to change about me, but probably the color of
Right.
my hair is going to turn gray.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, I am who I
I'm
am.
embracing mine.
Well, I
It's
just
starting to come
decided to
through.
do the sister lots about 2 months ago. Like
Okay.
I be doing stuff. Like I woke up and I was like, I've been wanting sister lots. Let me find somebody. Like literally,
Uh-huh.
just like that.
Uh-huh.
I'm trusting the process.
But you gotta trust the process. I low key kind of want them. I'm not going to get them, but I
Yes.
kind of wanted to do the sister lock situation because for me, sister locks, you still can do different things with
Yes.
your hair, and I that's the thing that I enjoyed about them is 'cause on one day, I'm gonna want a part right here, and then I might want, as they call it now,
Yes.
they don't say you
Yes.
put your part in the middle, they call them the bust downs now.
Yeah.
So one day I might
Mhm.
wanna bust down, I might wanna pull it up,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
need the versatility still.
Yes, but you want
So
the established locks because then I was like, "Can we get extensions first?" And she was like, "They be coming out." So, and then when she did my hair, she was like, "Girl, you got hair. You ain't got to start with the little bitty things." And I was
right,
like, "I know, but I just wanted to have my inches down there."
yeah,
But
that
it's
part.
coming. It's
It's
coming
coming. I ain't mad at that. That's why I'm trying to trust the process now. I found like, if you see the intro video, I had short
I
hair, so I was
saw.
oh, I love my little short hair, and you couldn't tell me nothing, especially is
Yes.
that the older I
Yes.
get, the older I get. But life is starting to happen, so I didn't want hair.
So
Husband
you
said,
be over there,
"Life."
yeah. I was over here dancing with your intro. I was like, okay, okay. Yes, I was
Thank you.
dancing.
Listen here, that thing be making me wanna move, I appreciate
Yes.
it, but that this hair now, husband asked for me to grow my hair out, and I said, "Alright, I'll go ahead and do it," but baby, when I tell you I keep me a fan
Oh,
close by, cause this thing, I be pulling this up, I'm
yes.
like, "Yeah, I'm hot though. Listen,
Yes.
I'm
Well,
hot."
we
So I'm
going
trying
into,
yeah.
but we're in spring now, so
Yeah, and it's springing right about now too, but we're gonna keep this
mhm,
bob. This is as far as it's gonna get. I don't think I'm getting
that's
no
it.
longer than this.
Oh,
So
oh,
this is all he's getting. He ain't getting no
husband, you
more
hear
hair.
that? You hear that, husband? That's it.
Oh, he's
Okay.
well aware of that. I ain't going no further. He might get it to go even here, but that's
That's
it's
it.
almost there in the front.
Oh,
The back is there. The front,
well, I
whatever. We
like you
getting
got to
there.
just swoop back behind your ears like I
I
like it.
get it because I don't. I'm hot. this. So I need it all right.
Oh my
My
goodness.
heart, my heart. Question for you. So grief is something. Grief is something. I'll put it that way. Grief, and
Hmm.
it's something. And
Yes.
one thing I know about grief, it can change individuals. But it doesn't just break your heart. It can shake your identity, right? Was
Mhm.
there ever a time or a moment where you didn't recognize yourself anymore and you had to figure out like who you were without the role you once held? Before we get back to the Hear My Heart show, here is a quick reminder. If you're in a season where you need clarity, confidence, and direction, you don't have to figure it out alone. I'm Coach Tiffany Rochelle, and I help women heal, grow, and move forward with intention. From coaching to resources designed to support your journey, there's something waiting for you at tiffanyrochelle.me. Visit the website, explore my products, and book the support you've been praying for. God showed you something for a reason. Now move on it. Back to our
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I remember looking in the mirror and I know it's me, but I did not identify me.
Mhm.
Like it was like that's not me. Um I have been a wife and a mother for so long. And now, after he passed away, okay, I'm not a wife. I don't have those same responsibilities. My youngest daughter had just went to Tuskegee her first year. So she was still in
Wow.
first semester. So,
Mhm.
what they call the empty nester. So like, we were actually shifting our routine. And so now it's like, okay, everything that I thought, the plans, like it's gone. So
Yeah.
who am I? I tried
Mhm.
to keep with the program that didn't feel right. It was just like really draining. I was sad because I'm over here trying to do things that we would do together and it's just me. So I realized like, okay, we gotta create a new blueprint for ourselves. And
Mhm.
so it was things that I knew I'm headstrong. So it's like certain things, it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna give that up.
Mhm.
So one thing was music was our love language.
Okay.
So it wasn't just about the melodies or anything. It was like the saxophone. I fell in love with that because of him. And so it's just like those soothing tones. And so we did a lot of concerts, especially like jazz concerts. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep going. So I literally had went to it's a place we like to go to called Maple House. And I went, and when their thing came out, because he was a preferred customer, they sent the early release to his email. So
Well, okay.
I saved it and I just went and I bought tickets for all the artists that we would want to go see. I bought 2 tickets. Yeah, I bought 2 tickets for everything. And when I would go, I would be there. I wasn't sad. Like even though I might have been there because I bought two, but a lot of times I'd be by myself, to be honest. So,
Okay.
but I still would enjoy the moment. And it's almost like I could close my eyes and I'm just there with him
Yeah.
in that moment. So
Mhm.
like, I kept that thing. But then even like things here at home, I didn't want to change too much in the house. But then I got to the point as I got more into my therapy, I knew
Mhm.
that it was not healthy to have a shrine to,
Okay. Okay.
because at some point you have to move forward.
Sure do.
One thing my therapist has shared this video. I remember it was an older lady and her husband had died and she would just be sitting in the chair. And like you see
Mm.
her sitting in the chair, but the seasons are changing, but she's sitting in the chair, but like everything around her is still there. But at some point, the house is not kept, so things are just starting to just fall apart, but she's still stuck there. And that was
Mhm.
early on in my therapy. And I remember I told my therapist, I was like, I don't want to be the old lady.
Mhm.
I was very
Mhm.
conscious of it. I was like, that's not what I want to be. So what I started doing was things that my husband and I had talked about doing to the house. I
Mhm.
started doing that. I started making the house more efficient and a smart house, so to say. So things that
Mhm.
he would do, if I could change something or upgrade so I didn't have to do much maintenance wise, that's what I started doing. Because the other thing was people were very accommodating and I could reach out and ask them to do certain things. But I knew I can't keep asking somebody's husband to come over here and do something for me, even though they say okay. At some point, that's gonna get old. So I just did everything that I needed to do to make my house efficient for me. So that was a part of my changing my blueprint as well. And then I started kind of just trying other things. I would just look online, because I do believe social media be listening when we be talking all this AI stuff.
Straight up.
Say something, and then like these ads will pop up for certain stuff. If it's something I thought like, how do I like that? I buy a ticket, and I date myself.
Yeah.
So I take myself on dates. I get gussied up just for myself. And so I just really put me first. I do like self-care days. I had started out doing them like self-care Thursdays. Then I ended up, I'm on self-care Sundays now because I love a good massage. Like, so I get me a good massage on Sundays. So I try stuff, and even with the massages, sometimes you see stuff on social media like these people that do these amazing massages and they go city to city. I've done some of those too. Like, yeah, I'm just anything that's gonna make me relax. And then yoga. My daughter gifted me with the unlimited pass to a yoga studio. And yeah, who knew yoga would be my thing? Now that breathing and releasing, it does help with the stress. I tell people like the stretching is great. And you burn a lot of calories when you stretch and doing yoga. People don't realize that. But that meditation piece, that is definitely something in my toolbox as well. At one point, I think I was going to yoga about 4 or 5 times out the week. So
you like yoga?
I like yoga. And it was one that they had that was the sound bath. And they usually did like once a month on Fridays. Child be breaking my neck trying to get up in there. Like it truly was like everything that was on me that week. It was like, it was just coming down off of me. Yeah. So yes. And men be in yoga too. So
they do.
Yeah. It ain't many, but they do be in yoga. And that's why people be like, I can do it. No. Because y'all be trying to talk. We're not talking. I need the whole ambiance. I need, yes. I need all of that for yoga. So that is definitely a big thing. And so, all of these things help to create who I am today. I am definitely different. I was telling somebody like, I am not even the same person I was November 22nd of 2023. I am different. And the real crazy, ironic thing is, I'm different, but not really different. Because here's the thing. There was a me before I was a wife. There was a me before I was a mom, right? Now, sometimes I be forgetting who she was. But now she be showing up. I'm like, girl, you remember, like
so rediscovering her.
So I'm rediscovering who she is, because it's now like certain things. It's like I don't, I can't do that because mom, it don't look right. Well, I can do it now. My husband may not necessarily want me to do. Well, I don't have a husband, so
right.
I can do that. I just got to make sure I'm able to respect myself and look in the mirror and don't have my mom and them looking at me crazy. So, but I can get out there and try different things. And so that me that had become very isolated, I'm starting to get back out because I've always been like the life of the party, but I was like, I would come because okay, they're gonna bother me if I don't come. So I would go, but literally it's like I would find me a little seat and I would just stay in that seat. If you ask me something, I'll say something. I was there, but I really just was not there. Not really.
You wasn't present for real. You're just body.
I was present. It was just usually be like because my mom and my sister might have threatened me about something, like because they'll say either you come or we coming to your house. And so I would just go ahead and go. But
I want you at my house. I'm coming. I'll see you in a minute.
Exactly. I'll be there. Yeah, they even had family functions at my house, and I didn't know that I volunteered. So they, and I know it came from a good place, but they was pushing And
Mhm.
and one thing, when you're in that space of grief, yeah, you can't push me. Like when you
Yeah.
push me, it doesn't land well. Like, and it
Okay.
did come a point where I had to be like, just let me be. Let me be.
Relax. Mhm. Mhm.
I've learned that sometimes it's okay to just sit in it,
Yeah.
and even with me rediscovering myself, still I have to just sit in it, because if it's uncomfortable and I don't sit in it, but I just skirt on past it, that
Mm.
ain't helping me none, So I
Mhm.
have to just
Mhm.
sit in it. But I'm loving who I am. She's still in there. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like she's still there. She's living. She's living,
Uh-huh. Mhm.
And I also identify that, nothing can bring my husband back. And even the woman that I am today, a big
Mhm.
part of that is because of the love and the life that I shared with my husband. And even the fact that I lost him, that
Mhm.
changed me. Now it knocked me off of my feet onto my tail. Let's not, yeah,
Mhm.
it did. But
Mhm.
if I hadn't have went through that,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be where I am today. So it does make me have a different appreciation for life. And as I say, the simple things,
Mm.
that day before he passed, that was our ordinary day.
Yeah.
Ordinary days often turn into memories. And I didn't really think about that like that
Wow.
until now.
Mhm.
So the whole live each day as if it's your
Mhm.
last, like, yeah, you
Mhm.
really do have to do that. And I tell people, like, I don't have any regrets, because like I remember the night before. I remember
Mhm.
the morning when he got up and, I love you, kiss me. Like I remember all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
don't have anything that I'm holding on to. That's why I tell people, like, if something going on and all minds and hearts ain't clear, you need to fix it. Because to say you're gonna do
Please.
it tomorrow, tomorrow does not come. It may not come. So if it
Mhm.
doesn't come, then now that's something you got to still carry and deal with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and here's the thing. Sometimes we be mad about stuff. It really is foolish. Like you don't even
It
remember
is.
exactly what it was,
Mhm.
So definitely I just I'm just glad that I'm where I am. Child. I always say I am so thankful, I'm so grateful, and I'm so blessed. Despite all the other stuff that has
Mhm.
happened since I lost my husband,
Yeah.
I'm still standing, because
Mhm.
there are women that I have read their stories in different widows groups
Mhm.
online,
Mhm.
and they have had to sell the house, move in with the kids, or sell the
Yeah.
house, move
Mm.
into a trailer. They lost everything. The
Yeah.
husband, the identity, the family, the house, like
Everything.
life.
Mhm.
And I'm thankful that I didn't.
Yeah.
My husband took care of me. He paid the
Yeah.
bills and stuff. I ain't have to. I just did what, I go travel,
Mhm.
whatever. Like, he was like, do you?
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
then he was gone. And it was like,
Yeah.
I had told him I didn't want to pay this mortgage, and now I gotta, and it's just figuring it out. Like I said, he was there. We had a plan every
Mhm.
month out on the 23rd. And it was like when he
Yeah.
told me he paid the mortgage, then I'm like, well, shoot, I heard him, but
Yeah.
was he talking about November or was he talking about December? Like,
Mhm.
all this
Mhm.
stuff went up in my head. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I have a good job. I was working for the federal
Mhm.
government and
Mhm.
I made the money, but I was like, girl, you gotta sit down and get yourself together. But like, I
Yeah.
couldn't. I had too many things going on that I couldn't. I had enough forethought to pay my utility bills that was here.
Yeah.
And then when I did end up calling the mortgage company, they had told me that they had got that last
Okay.
payment. And so then
Okay.
I was able to just, continue from there. So it was like I just did the things that I needed to do to survive. And then the other things I was like, I'm gonna have to just deal with them, at a
Yeah.
later date. But like
Mhm.
everything just, it just truly changed. And like I said, women lose everything when their spouse
Mhm.
dies. And I just be like, oh my God, like, thank you. My standard of living has not had to
Mhm.
change. And I'm thankful for that because it doesn't always happen that way. So I'm glad that, he and I did talk about if something happens to one or the other and making
Sure.
sure that we had things in place so it would be easier, especially financially, for the
Mhm.
one that was left behind. Just didn't think that it was going to happen so soon.
So soon, yeah. That's a tough one, but I'm grateful y'all had that conversation, and because those are uncomfortable conversations to have, and
Hmm.
I'm grateful that you guys took the moment to do so, and it kinda pushes us. I know husband and I have our standard. We take on the biblical principle, "Let's not let the sun go down on our wrath." And
Hmm.
every day he leaves, and this is that I'm listening to your story, and it's giving me an appreciation because when he leaves every morning, he always makes sure we don't go to bed upset, but every morning he always kisses me and says, "I love you." And I know there's been 2 times that I can remember, I'd be like, "Mhm," but it's not that I'm sleep. I'm talking
Right,
about I'm
right,
sleep.
right,
He wakes up
right.
early in the morning. Like, some people go to sleep at 2 o'clock. He waking up at 2 o'clock to go out the house.
Okay,
So,
okay.
I'm like, I'm good in sleep. So, when he goes, "I love you," I hear it and I be like, "Mhm." Then once
Mhm.
I hear him going down the stairs, I'm like, "I love you too. Wait a minute. Hold on. I need
Right,
you to hear
right,
me.
right. And
I
you
need
see
you to
how
hear me say."
that is, like, that routine. So even though
Yeah.
you're asleep, you listen when he come down the stairs, when he
Uh-huh.
opened the door and you hear the chime, like stuff
Yeah.
like that. And
Mhm.
so even for me, those became triggers for me.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, did I hear somebody going down the step?
Right.
Did I hear the garage door go up? Because it's just you're conditioned to that, And
Yeah.
I'm thankful that that last kiss.
Yeah.
What if
Yeah.
I didn't have that last kiss?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
that was a big thing. The
Yeah.
last kiss and the I love you. And literally maybe 15 minutes after that, his life was gone.
Wow. That this story is definitely giving us a appreciate what you have. Like,
Yes,
sincerely, don't take time for granted. It's non-refundable. So, like,
exactly.
appreciating the moments that you do have, and this is making me, like, wanna go, "Anybody who I got a problem with, let me go fix it." Now, it ain't gonna be
There you
completely
go.
rectified. It's not
Yeah,
gonna
but
be like we're reconciling, but it's still wanting just that those memories, just wanna make sure you clear the air. So, I'm grateful that you shared that. Like, I'm so sincere that you decided to share that. You have, if you look at the word heart, you'll see that it has ear in it. There's a little word called ear in that, and Imma tell you, you have our ear, so let's hear what's on your heart. What is the final word that you would like to leave with the Holla Squad?
my final word is never give up on you. No one has ever said that life was going to be easy. Um, there is no book or guide on life, any part of it. And so, as you're going through life, there's different things that are going to be thrown at you. But if you prioritize and continue to live your life with intent and to live it with purpose and to live it the way that God intends for you to live it, then everything else is going to work out. And, when it is said to give it to God, I didn't really understand the true meaning of that until I went through this. And so to give it to him is to truly give it to him, not give it to him, but you got one hand on and you ain't trying. No, you got to give it to him. And when you give it to him, he is going to keep you and he's going to work out everything else because everything that I've been through when I've been in a vulnerable state, I've been exposed to the world in ways that were very uncomfortable for me. And I needed protection that I could not even do for myself. And the one who would have protected me was not here. But when I tell you that as things start to unfold and time goes on, God truly kept me. He even would allow me to do something that I didn't give much thought on, but those were the things that saved me when
Mhm.
certain things revealed themselves. So continue, trust in God wholeheartedly because I'll tell you, I lost my husband. It changed everything. I still had my family with me, but when I tell you, God has been with me, just like Steve, just like Steve. He's been there. That's my sacred place with God. Yeah,
Mhm.
those are my words.
I appreciate your work. They gave your city gave him like a special day, or they did something special for him. What
I've
is
had
it?
a
What is
few things. He first of all, he's from Louisville, Kentucky, and
Okay.
so the senator in Kentucky did a resolution in honor of him, and so they sent me a really nice like plaque thing, and then here in Georgia. Um, the Georgia Department of Transportation, they erected a
Mhm.
memorial sign at the spot where he passed away. And I had requested also that they name that stretch of the interstate as a memorial for him.
Mhm.
Um, Due to what they had on the calendar this year, they couldn't consider it. But what they did was they did a House resolution in his honor. And so I was at the state capitol. I believe that was last month. I was there, and my state representative, Marianne Santos, she sponsored that bill. And so I got that. And also, he was killed in a car accident with
Mhm.
an 18 wheeler. And with losing him in that way, it has kind of opened my eyes to the fact of, if there's an 18 wheeler and there's a car, the car doesn't stand a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And being here in Georgia, Georgia is the main thoroughfare for all of these trucks that are coming in from Florida. I mean, you see it all the time. And
South
what most
Carolina too.
Yes. So, and what most people don't
Mhm.
realize is that when COVID happened, remember they was rationing out tissue. We could only buy this and that, right? But remember, the part of that was because the trucks were not moving, right?
Correct.
That freight wasn't moving. Well, I
Mhm.
know here in Georgia, the governor did a thing where he increased the weight limit on the trucks
Mhm.
during COVID. So, which means they can carry more weight, more product, get it to where it needs to be. Where COVID was 6 years ago, that
Yeah.
never went back. So now you think about a truck with however many tons.
Mhm.
Again, the car never stands a chance. And then, even down to with the 18 wheels, they are supposed to drive so many hours and then they're down for so many hours. The
Mhm.
newer trucks are computerized. So like you
Yeah.
can't fudge it.
Yeah.
It's gonna shut down. The
Mhm.
older ones are not. So I want to affect change in that respect so that there's never another family that is in the space that I am in. And
Mhm.
so I have been talking to a fellow veteran that is
Mhm.
actually running for office here. And
Okay.
we're going to work together to get a bill drafted up. So it will be called the Steve Golden Act. So that I want to have some safety things in there. And, I'm saying Georgia, but these trucks go all over the country. So
All over.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
And God be moving you in certain ways, because I was somewhere at a health event doing something else, and I met this lady that's running for Congress. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, God, I receive it. I receive it.
Mhm.
Like,
Come
so
on, favor.
yes, yes. So my
Yeah.
biggest thing is to affect change in that way, because in my case, there was negligence
Mhm.
that caused my husband's death. And when things like that happen, it pulls back the layers like on an
Mhm.
onion,
Mhm.
and so those things you thought you was doing and wasn't nobody paying attention, it exposes everything, right? And
Mhm.
there have been so many different accidents of that magnitude since my husband passed away. And so I'm
Mhm.
like, what, we got to get something across the board, because at the end of the day, um, it always goes back to money. But money and life,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
let's do
You
life.
can't pay for life. You There's not enough money that you're gonna be able to give life. I mean, we appreciate money and we need it to live our lives, but there's not enough money that we'll be able to have to "Oh, okay, well, husband passed
Exactly.
away. Oh, I can give you this amount of money. He can come back." It doesn't work that way.
He cannot come
So,
back, and
yeah.
it for me, I always say, how we say make it make sense. I'm
Mhm.
literally trying to make it make sense, even though I really can't in the
Mhm.
sense of, but it's like he died. And that's a fact. And there's nothing I can do about it. And it hurts like
Mhm.
hell.
Yeah.
But even within all of that, I gotta have something good to come out of that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
Mhm.
so that will make it a little bit better for me. A little bit.
Well, the golden bill is gonna be passed. How about that? We gonna get that out there. Mhm.
Claim it,
Yeah.
Lord. Yes.
We gonna get that golden bill passed because
Yes.
I'm with you on that, unfortunately, and it sucks for me to have this conversation with you because your husband passed away due to a trucking accident, and the unfortunate thing is my husband is a trucker. So I grasp the concept of what you're making
Mhm,
reference to because them 12 hours of
mhm,
being on the road, making sure you're following the DOT standards and what
mhm.
they're telling you to do,
Yes.
all of that matters. Making sure your books is together, having um, current computer systems in the car where you can't unplug those things,
Yes.
staying off
Or
of your
how
phone.
about I didn't know if you take it out of cruise control,
Mm,
it can go faster, you know?
then they're fudging the governors
Heavyweight,
that's
yeah.
supposed to be on there. See?
Yes, a truck with heavy weight and you doing 70 something miles an hour,
Mhm.
that's a big thing. So yeah, and and
Yeah,
then the other thing,
I'm with
when
you.
people decide they want to drive trucks, they ain't
Yeah.
going to school for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's a short thing.
Mhm.
But what are the safety things to make sure that they master it? And then even after
Correct.
COVID, there's such a need. Anybody that
Mhm.
probably went to trucking school passed, to be honest, more than
A
likely.
lot of them, and I saw that, like, not too long ago on some kinda somebody's social media page that I was on, that there was some lady, I don't remember what the state was, but there was some state that the lady was just passing, just when they go in there to do their test, she was just giving it to them because there was a little bit of kickback that she was receiving from there, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, hold on, how do we do this?" Like, ugh,
And I'll even
change is
step
about
out
to
there
come.
and say with my husband,
Yeah.
um, if you don't understand English, I don't understand how you can drive a truck and understand the
Mhm,
signs and all of that
mhm.
because English is the primary language.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a big one too.
I'm with you when you're right. Well, for the
Mhm.
most part, I'm just with you, period. But
Okay.
but I'm definitely with you on that. I'm believing that these laws that you're helping to institute is going to get passed because I'm all for safety. Big rigs already are scary. So I don't care if my husband drives them or not. I'll be by one and I'll be like, "Your husband, slow down." He said, I drive these things. I say, "But you ain't driving
Yes.
that one.
Yes.
Slow down or either get all the way over there." But ain't he in the wrong lane anyway? He ain't supposed. So I'm sitting over here.
Yes, that's me.
It'd be a whole lot.
Yes,
So,
yes,
oh,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
I get you. I'm super grateful that you decided to share your story with us. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having me,
Alright.
Coach Tiffany.
Don't be doing me like that. I told you behind the scenes, gear. You was over here flattering me. Flattering gets you in a
Girl,
lot of
listen,
places.
I was like, it's just something about her spirit. And I was telling my daughter, I was like, yeah, I said I'm gonna talk to her on Monday. I was like, but I like her already. I can tell. Like, yes. So yes, I'm one of those people where
Oh,
I pick up vibes, and it's like
yeah,
either I just genuinely like you or I
yeah.
don't. And if I
Be
don't,
like
it
hard
ain't gonna
pass.
change. I'm just not gonna like you. Right. 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 So
I'm
you
with you on.
definitely have one of those spirits. So
I
yes.
appreciate you. Thank you. That makes my heart feel real glad. This makes my heart real warm, and I really
You're welcome
appreciate
to
you for
people's
that.
cheerleader. Yeah.
Stop it.
Love it.
Girl, cool out.
I'm real extra, so I love all this stuff you got going on. So I'm like, yes.
I am very extra. I had to learn to embrace that, because I was like
Me
that
too.
by nature.
Me
But
too.
and so when you were sharing your story of how your husband just really appreciates you, all your quirkiness and all your extras, like even the song that we did is Be Me. My husband produced that. And so for me,
Okay.
it's not gonna tell you to be me. It's showing up authentically of who you are.
Mhm.
Like just be the person that you are created. God created you to be you on purpose.
Yes.
And so for you
Yes.
not to show up as that individual, like, yeah, I will never do that in life ever again. And so when he helped me to get that song out there, I just don't ever want anybody to not show up as them, and he really appreciates
Exactly.
me in this quirk. I can be extra, and I can be over the top. I can turn into a
He
big
love
old
you just the
crybaby
way you are.
just
Yes.
the way I am, and so it feels good. So when I'm listening to you, I'm like, I need your strength. I'm not wishing or praying that my husband transitions anytime soon, but your strength when I'm listening to you and how I can still hear the love that you have. So I'm
Mhm.
like, if something happens to I will not be okay, but listening to you, I want to have the strength that you have, and you're giving me the mental fortitude to say, I know life is going to happen. I probably would be like you with that lady where you like, "Well, you fulfilled your duty, girl. Don't talk to me
Yes.
like that. I'll punch you in your
Yes.
mouth." Like, so I feel like that would probably be like that. I
Mhm.
appreciate her words, but for me right now, you say something like that to me, it can be 1,300 years later. I'm still going to
Yes.
probably want to punch you in your mouth by saying that. I appreciate her
Yes.
words, but
Yes.
but thank you for sharing that with me and like
You're
your real
welcome.
life helping me. You're helping Tiffany,
Yes, look,
and I
yes.
really
And
appreciate that.
people have said, like, Cam, when I hear your story, it made me reflect in my
Yeah.
own life and
Mhm,
shift in my relationship and to
mhm.
appreciate my relationship more.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Well, that's good because my thing is, even though Steve is not here, I love love. And I want to see everyone love and just be in that moment and grow together because that's the point, right?
Yep.
That's the
Mhm.
whole point.
Yep.
We're supposed to reproduce, we're supposed to love,
Mhm.
reproduce. Yeah,
Mhm.
so yeah, let's
I ain't
do that.
reproducing
And
no more though. Us
yeah,
done.
well, you
6 is
finished
enough.
reproducing, but yeah,
Yeah, we done.
but yeah, just
We empty nesters now. We ain't doing that again.
consistency. Yes, but y'all in a different phase of being able to enjoy one
Mhm.
another. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so
Yep.
for whatever time you have
Yeah.
left, just make it like what I love dirty dancing. That's my thing.
Okay.
Had a
Uh-huh.
time of your life, baby. When they do that, I had a time of my life. Honey, Patrick Swayze used to be picking me up on the
Uh-huh.
thing. So yeah, that's what I feel like when I think about me and my husband, like even though he
Yeah.
wasn't picking me up like that, but
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
just it's that's something about just having that time of your life where it's like we dance
Yeah.
and don't matter what else is going on around. It is just
Mhm.
us. And so anybody that has that, like that makes my heart just whew, it makes it so full
Yeah.
because to have somebody to truly love you like
Mhm.
that and
Mhm.
then they're gone.
Yeah.
I am in this space because it hurts so much because I love so much. I love them
Yeah.
so much. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
Everybody can't say that.
Yeah. Some people are grateful. They were like, "Yep, he's gone. Well, all right."
Right,
So,
right.
y
Yes.
yeah, that I
Yes.
tell you, if something happened to Kenneth Wilkins, I'm telling y'all now, I am not
Mhm,
okay.
mhm. Yep,
I
and
don't
you
care if
know
I
what?
tell
Just
you
like
I'm
you
okay.
just said that, at least
Yeah.
you said that, and I was like, "How you doing? I ain't good today."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I ain't got to push through
Yeah.
from nobody. No, I am not okay today. That's why I
Not
told you
okay.
today is a good day. Like today is
Uh-huh.
a good day. So
Great.
yes,
Listen, you have given me strength, and that you're putting words to how giving me the okay that in time put words to power. Say, "Hey, I'm okay. I'm not
absolutely.
okay." In this
Mhm.
moment, 5 seconds. These 5 seconds has passed. Yeah, I'm all right. Don't ask me in a
Exactly.
few minutes, or if I start
Right.
crying,
Right.
I'm gonna go over here trying to run. Like so. I
Yes.
appreciate you. Holla Squad, that was not just a story, okay? That was strength in motion. Whoo, man. Cam, I really appreciate your kind words. I really appreciate your strength. Thank you so much for showing us that grief may change you, but it doesn't have to end you. Oh, I'm so grateful that it didn't end you. I'm so grateful that it did not end you because then we wouldn't have had the opportunity to have a conversation. And I sincerely, with all of my heart, I am so grateful for your life. I'm so grateful for your words. Thank you for giving us the space and telling us that it's okay for us to grieve and we are allowed to heal. Man, that is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. You're also from what I remember you saying, is you're also okay to become someone new. For you, you may have rekindled that individual that you were before you were married, but you're starting a new space. And you gave us the hope and the understanding that it's okay to become someone new. If this show blessed you, show love to the show. Give us a heart, give us a good old like on the show. I appreciate that. Let the algorithm know that we are here. Subscribe to the show if you haven't already, and share this with someone who's navigating loss. It doesn't necessarily have to be the loss of someone that has transitioned from this life. It could be a friendship that they're grieving. It could be a job loss. It could be some type of loss, but share this with someone that's experiencing a loss. You never know who needs it. And Holla Squad, I will tell you, if you felt anything in this show, if something agreed with your spirit, you know what you got to do. You got to holla. I'll see you guys later. Grace and peace. God bless your hearts and your parts. Peace.